What was the challenges with IoT sensors, especially from a cybersecurity perspective? I know cybersecurity is a big thing that you guys have in Red Sea.
Yeah, so the probably one of the biggest challenges was having coverage out on site. So if you imagine the site, as I said, it's about the size of Belgium. The only bit of, if you heard Ian Williamson, the Chief Project Delivery Officer, speak earlier this morning, there was only one piece of infrastructure in that region really, or certainly on our project site, and that was the highway going through it. So big issues with connectivity, with the internet and all that kind of stuff, especially when you're starting to look off the mainland. So as I say, some of the islands are up to 20 kilometres off the mainland. So having connectivity out there was, you know, a challenge. So it's probably that was the biggest challenge. Cybersecurity, yes, you are right. It is it's a challenge working within the kingdom. But what it means is then we have to be very sort of deliberate then about the technology choices that we make. So unable to use a lot of cloud services, unable to use a lot of providers that are based very much on the public cloud. So it means being, as I say, intentional with the partners that we're bringing in, not just from a software perspective, but also from a hardware perspective and hosting, and then bringing that ecosystem of different providers and suppliers in, having to really get into the detail of what is being, implemented.
David, I'm just wondering how you're overcoming the challenges of using cloud platforms that aren't located in KSA. How are Red Sea overcoming that issue?
If it can be hosted within the kingdom, obviously it removes a lot of the issues there. So typically, if a provider has chosen to strategically be operating the kingdom, they're going to win because it removes all those barriers. For those that aren't there yet, it means we have to put some effort in. So what we do with the Red Sea Development Company has been very, again, intentional about how we classify our data. So there'll be certain types of data that we know can't go in the cloud. Once the data comes together in a certain way, we know it can't be in the cloud. Once it hits a certain level of maturity, it can't be in the cloud. So we're using the data in cloud-based systems up till a point, then they have to be removed from there. And then we're finding other solutions to go put them into. But especially during the design and construction phase, how the data is classified allows us to continue to use some of those tools. But it's no different to in the world when there was paper, right? So paper was in offices and different in different countries. You've got to sort of like classify the data in the same way. It's only when it comes together or hits a certain level of maturity that then becomes an issue.
Raj, you've explained the journey as a subcontractor. How does that fit in with the whole supply chain?
When you see most of the implementations, what we have done, it is all within the company's framework. Mm-hmm. For example, at some areas, we need the main contractors' help also, like the traceability, for example. There should be few infrastructures, because for in our case, we are the main contractor also. So I get more support in that sense. So our challenges was not that much. To start with the transformation, with the people. So, to make them use or give the suggestions, we have to conduct a lot of workshops, cultivate that, make it as a DNA of the company, and getting people used to this. That took time, but it is a journey, it's not Absolutely. A destination. So we Absolutely. Could able to overcome that so far.